Oh, howdy y'all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 1 discussion. Welcome to day 9 of Teasers season. Don't go looking for videos for days 6, 7, 8. They didn't all exist. Videos are coming out on the days that they're relevant. Today though, Granny Gear Games dropped a very short video that has a lot in it. This is the Holy Hammers teaser video. This video goes for the incredibly long duration of 6 seconds, and yet it manages to cram quite the teaser into that 6-second video. So we're going to be watching it, but we're not just going to be watching it, we're going to be watching it in slow motion, repeating little parts of it, because I think there's a couple of things that are hidden in here. And who knows, there's probably something else that I'm missing as well that is also hidden in here. This appears to be a new skill. It appears to be a physical lightning hybrid slam. So something akin to Smite, the way that it is a physical part converted to lightning skill, but Smite's big brother that decided to be a slam skill instead. And of course, as is often the case when GGG tease a particular skill, it often means there might be a balance pass to the existing skills in that meta. So those of you who were Earthshatter enjoyers, sorry. Here's the video and it's on silent playing at full speed. Now, let's go back and watch that again, but this time, pay attention to a few things. We're going to go watch it once more at full speed, then we'll come back and slow it down. Firstly, the character leap slams first. You will notice this leap slam is slow. This is giving you some sort of indication as to the general level of progression of the character. If this was a deep endgame character, you'd probably expect them to be leap slamming a little bit faster than that. Secondly, you'll also get to see the wind up that's part of the animation of this Holy Hammers skill, and then you'll see the skill itself be unleashed. So there's the leap slam, and there is your big thunk that comes down when you fire the Holy Hammers off. Now, let's watch this again, but this time, let's watch it slower. And let's go half speed first. After this, we can then have another look and look at it frame by frame. This time, I want you to pay particular attention to the character and anything that might be orbiting them, because there's some interesting things to look there. So firstly, leap slam. We have no charges, nothing else orbiting. Now we have a transition. Immediately after this transition, there are at least 3 of these power charges. Sometimes it looks like 4, and there'll also be 2 other blue orbs. We'll see these again a bit clearer when we decide to go back to this and watch it not at half speed, but when we watch it frame by frame. The other thing to note is the propagation waves that take place here. This is not a hit everything in front of you instantaneously. This is a case of you fire it off, it firstly strikes the area directly in front of you, and then from there it propagates outward. You'll see there's definite wave structure there to the way that it propagates across the screen. This is not going to be one of those slams that propagates damage instantly to everywhere it's ever going to hit, and in that way it's going to be more like Thunder. Thunder is something that propagates damage pretty well, but it does so on its own timeline. Contrast that to something that is more instantaneous. An example of that would be Vaal Ground Slam in particular. When you set that off, it's just instant. It hits everywhere it's ever going to hit, and it does so in one shot. So let's watch this again, this time at 25% speed. And here you get to see the very slow methodical slam, donk, propagate. And you can see here, it's much clearer that the propagation is coming from these hammers that are coming down from the sky. But what if we were to go and watch it again, but this time we'll be watching it frame by frame. And because a lot of people will ask me how to do this, all you need to do on YouTube, whether you're watching it from the actual YouTube site or whether you're watching it embedded like I am here, all you need to do is press either the full stop button to go forward 1 frame or press the comma if you want to go backward 1 frame. So there's several frames here of wind up. And we'll just look for where it looks like the first initiation of the ability takes place, and then we'll time it from there. So here you can see the character looks like they're in more of a walking, here we are, more of a walking pose. Now, this point. So this is 46 frames later, so 3/4 of a second at this character's speed. We then jump forward. Notice that this is an instant transition. So we've got this character that's not super endgame, doesn't look glowy, doesn't look all that fancy. This is a character that's fairly early in progression, facing a bunch of skeletons and something spikier behind them. And then we jump forward, the skeletons are gone, the spiky enemies are still visible, and the character now has 3 power charges. Remember power charges, we're going to want to talk about those in a sec. As well as that, there's this little blue orb that is not yet solved exactly what it is. It could be an MTX, it could be something that is related to this particular skill. And here we go. It is another 4 frames, so we're now talking 833 milliseconds after what I presume was the initiation of the skill, and we're striking and dealing our first damage, and then the propagation is pretty fast in comparison. So we're at this range of propagation after another 6 frames, and I think this is 18 more frames, which would be 300 milliseconds later that it starts striking new areas and dealing more damage there. And then it's quite a bit longer until a further propagation takes place. So what is this skill going to do in terms of mechanics? We don't know everything, but what it looks like it's doing is it's striking an area in front of you after a fairly considerable delay, like a typical slam, and then it is causing echoes of that slam to take place in certain other locations. Can an enemy be hit multiple times by this? The answer is we don't know. If it is possible to hit enemies multiple times with this, then I feel like one of the things you've got to try out. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. There's one of those things that has to be tested, but it feels like something that could be extremely, extremely good in conjunction with knockback, which is something that has been a really bad mechanic in all of Path of Exile's history, except for 1 or 2 weird times. So that's something that you might want to actually consider. Not knockback support. Knockback support is terrible, but there is a shrine that knocks back. And you can actually get that shrine effect from the lesser brutal shrine that is found on the unique chess piece Blunderbore. Blunderbore is not actually all that rare anymore. It's a tier 3 rarity unique, I believe, at the moment. Historically, it was much rarer, but then it got made quite a bit more common. Of course, using Blunderbore has its own challenges. It has a massive, massive, oppressively high even strength requirement. And so it's up to you whether that's going to be appropriate for the way you want to build your character or not. But it's definitely an option to consider. And you can either just build that amount of strength into your character, or alternately, you can use it in conjunction with the Timeless Duel that turns off attribute requirements, but also does come with an additional drawback associated with it. We then have this propagation sweeping through, and because of the stylization here, I'm pretty certain that this is going to deal whatever your weapons damage is, but then that weapon damage is going to be 50% converted from physical to lightning. That's this standard stylization of the holy type physical / lightning damage in Path of Exile. That's the way it tends to work. Alternately, it could be something really out of left field, like the existing skill Divine Retribution, which hits a fairly similar part of the screen. And Divine Retribution is actually a spell, even though it looks like and very much feels like a weapon attack. So there's a whole lot to look at in here. I think it was an interesting skill to try and dig deep into. Is this going to be good? Well, it's going to live or die based upon the numbers it's got, and it's also going to live or die based upon how much synergy it has with existing slam builds, or how much people are willing to adapt those existing slam builds. All, of course, assuming that it is a slam, as it feels like it is. If it's something else, then we'll know that once we get the full patch notes, and particularly once we get the 2020 gem details. 2020 gem details are usually one of the last things that we get out of Grinding Gear games when a new patch is coming. So we might not know this until 36, 48 hours before the patch goes live, or if we're really unlucky, we might not know it until 24 hours before. That said, the fact that we're seeing power charges here indicates that it might be something that's oriented to a quite different type of slammer than exists at the moment. It's not that you can't make a slam build around power charges currently, it's just not the way that people tend to be playing them. So new options will be fun to play with. Whether they're good or not is something we'll have to discover once the patch goes live. Also, speaking of patch notes, we're likely to get those my Friday, which might be your Thursday. And that's when the main live stream announcement takes place. Grinding Gear Games will drop a whole lot more information. It won't just be tiny little teasers like this one. It will be a whole massive presentation on exactly what to expect when 3.28 goes live. I will, of course, be restreaming that. I'll be restreaming it both to Twitch and to YouTube. And if you watch it on Twitch, there is a Twitch exclusive promo Grinding Gear Games are running where you get an extra MTX bonus for doing so. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. May your Varlobs have interesting results and have fun bringing holy hammers down on the heads of your enemies inside Rayclast.